What's up guys, I'm here with a new video today. So, today's video is of course, whenever Legacies comes out on Thursday, that's when I'm going to do the review. And since it's Friday and it was out on the CW app, I went there, watched it, saw the whole episode, and now today is finally when I get to do my review on it, slash also my reaction and what I think of it and my theories on it, like I usually do in every other review on any other episode. So let's get on with the review. So, in the beginning of the episode, we see Hope going into Josie's mind, her subconscious. She wakes up, she's in a little Red Riding Hood outfit. She wakes up and she freaks out, or she's shocked that Josie's subconscious is like a fairy tale, which is like probably Sleeping Beauty, dealing with Little Red Riding Hood pigs in it. So, we see her wake up and she's trying to find some trail, like follow the yellow brick road kind of way to find Josie, and she sees these little breadcrumbs, and of course halfway through in the forest she sees something moving into the woods, and she does a spell that does like this light thing, and she tells whoever was out there that they don't have to be afraid, she won't hurt them. And then she sees another movement in the woods, and then she finds out, then she tells whoever she saw the same thing, that she wouldn't hurt them, she could come out, and out of nowhere, she finds out it's a pig, and he turns around, tells her to shut her pie hole, and yes, he's gonna be sometimes rude in the subconscious, and he tells Hope to leave, that he shouldn't be here and that he shouldn't do magic. And of course, he tells her a story that Josie was telling her, that long ago, like a fairy tale kind of way, that the darkness only grows more if you use magic, and Hope's wondering what would happen if you use magic. The pig said you do not want to find out. And then after that we see Lizzie and MG in like, what you call it, the big auditorium or whatever room. MG's trying to tell Lizzie that she's supposed to play dead because everyone thinks she's dead, and it defeats the purpose that she plans her own funeral. And then of course, Lizzie had a plan how to roam around the school without being noticed and getting caught. So she has this ring, she puts it on, she becomes Hope, and of course MG freaks out, and then her dad and Jed and Caleb comes to where MG and she was, and they freak out that Lizzie looks so much like Hope but cannot play the part of Hope because she probably wouldn't be convincing on it. And of course, Alark is weirded out because Lizzie looks like Hope and is calling her dad while looking like Hope. And of course, we never seen Hope call Lark dad before because she only considered him as like probably like a second father to her, but never called him dad because they're not at that state yet, or they're probably just okay with her just calling him a Lark or Dr. Saltzman. And then Jed tells Lizzie that she won't convince the wolves that she is Hope, but out of nowhere, Lizzie goes to the wolf pack, and she sees some stuff that Hope doesn't usually say and whatnot, and she totally did convince the wolves that she's Hope and that they're gonna do some like wolfing and stuff. And of course she cannot wolf out because she's not, half wolf for that to happen. And then Alaric allowed her to plan her funeral while she's looking like Hope when he tells her no doves. And then Lizzie tells the guys that you heard the Melodies go on with planning. And of course one point Alaric goes down to like the sub-basement or something, or whatever you call it, with Raphael, and find out that he killed Landon but didn't mean to because he was a puppet to the necromancer, and he told Raphael that he's not going to give up on his students, not going to lose on his students, and that he was going to save both him and Landon. And of course Raphael wanted Alaric to shoot him, put him down, but then it was too late because the necromancer took over his body and punched Alaric out. And of course at that point I thought that Raphael was gonna let Raphael tie up Alaric and take over the school, but that was not the case. And then we see one point of planning the funeral where Lizzie is with some of the other girls, and they're talking about her while she's trying to pretend to be Hope, and finds out that none of the girls or anyone at the school likes her, doesn't care that she is dead, they're glad that she's not there anymore, and she feels sad. And then and then we see Hope in the subconscious. She finds out that the pig ate the trail, but finds out that he knows the way to her. And of course he leads her to Josie, if he didn't want her to do magic, which that's what they did. And while that was happening, Lizzie goes to the kitchen where MG is making him a sandwich and stuff. And of course Lizzie talks about what the girls were saying and what their classmates think. MG tries to play surprise, like he's surprised, and says Lizzie's and then best friend. And Lizzie rushes to put the ring back on to look like Hope. And of course MG said to her that he's gonna say a eulogy that he has written for her to everyone. And of course Lizzie thought of the same thing, so she's gonna do that when the funeral starts. And then we see Alaric at the bar, and he wakes up and he takes a bottle that the necromancer pushes to him, and he breaks it on the side and wants to like kill the necromancer right there and then. But then Raphael tells him no, he's just gonna let them fight him and it's not gonna be worth it. So he stopped and listened to what the necromancer says. The necromancer was talking to Alaric about how he can help him get his daughter back while he gets black magic, because he is tired of Dark Josie already, because Dark Josie snapped her fingers and got him to stop and try to get him to obey her and stuff. And Alaric only will work with him if he lets the three go, which is Chad, Raphael, and Alyssa with no strings attached and stuff. And the necromancer said that he's gonna totally do that since he's the one who brought him back and he can do that. And Raphael said, what about Landon? He said yes, he could do that. And then Raphael tells Alaric that, see, you wanted to save us both. Now you can if you do that. And of course Alaric tells the necromancer he's not sure he could trust him because what if he does his part but the necromancer doesn't fulfill his part. So the necromancer tells Alaric that they can do like this kind of spell where if they don't abide to their parts, none of them gets what they want, and that if he makes up his mind that he wants that he knows how to signal him. So him and the three leads, and of course in that whole part before the necromancer was gonna talk to Alaric, Dark Josie already could tell that she's not feeling Lizzie in her mind when they merge, and that someone is new there, and of course they think it's Hope, which it is Hope, but she thinks it's her father that's planning it all instead of Hope. So in one part of that, Dark Josie is wondering what is Hope's game in all of this, so she knocks herself out and her whole body falls back, and she's in her subconscious in there. And then we see but one part of that, before Lara came back to school, Caleb and Jed sings at the funeral, and of course they kept like messing up on their part, and everyone started to laugh. And then Lizzie goes up, but she still has Hope, and she tries to make it seem like Hope is talking about her, but out of nowhere everyone still laughs, and then she gets kind of upset, she leaves. But and then you see in the subconscious that Hope finds out that the pig that the wolf ate was actually Josie in disguise, and that Josie was trying to get her to leave, but that didn't work. And of course Hope's trying to plead with Josie that that Dark Josie has been going on a rampage out there and merging with Lizzie and stuff and whatnot, and they talk about the whole thing. And of course Dark Josie comes back and they run before she can get them. And then finally we see back at the funeral where Lizzie was gonna go to her funeral as herself and put all the students on their spot, but before she could do that, MG ran back up and he talks about his eulogy, and of course everything that he said in the eulogy was like true and stuff, because he has been the one who's mostly hanging out with the Soulsman twins, and of course he knows Lizzie a lot, like he knows her flaws and whatnot, and he's still willing to accept her for who she is and wanting to still get to know her and whatnot. And one point in his eulogy he says that Lizzie had, whenever she has her darkest moments, she tries to make up for it, and she knows that she's a hard case and stuff, but he also said that when you take one bad thing about what Lizzie did, you define her and all that, and you never he's like, you never gave her a chance to make it up and for you to get to know her. And so after that they all felt bad because they only made one bad thing that she did define her for the rest of their life knowing her, instead of giving her the chance to make it up and give them the chance to get to know her while she's trying to like be a good person and make up for the bad things she did. And of course, one of the classmates comes up to this podium and she talks about sewing club and whatnot. And then we see a lark, but a lark came back during MG's eulogy, and of course, Lizzie was sort of like happy that MG's saying them. And then we see one part, and then we go back to the subconscious, and we see Hope and Josie back at the place where sleeping Josie was, and they sit down, and of course Josie said that she can't go back and fight back her dark self because she's weak and Dark Josie's strong. But Hope tells her that what if that's what she's been telling herself every time, and that she can write her own story, and that what if Dark Josie, who was powerful, is what she is, that she is powerful but not weak. And of course Dark Josie finds them, and she flips Hope away from Josie, and then flips Josie, and then Hope tries to like throw the axe to Dark Josie, but eventually she caught it, and then she does magic, and eventually she absorbed it, and then she pushes Hope to the rubble wall, and Hope looks at Josie and tells her that she can write her own story, she can change it and stuff. And then finally, out of nowhere, Dark Josie turns her to stone, and she tries to like, and then Josie runs away, and of course she catches up, and then we see that we're still in the subconscious at this point, and we see that they're back in the house that the husband was in, and Josie's being scared and not knowing what to do. And at some point, whatever Dark Josie was saying, she was hearing what Hope said to her before, and she realized that her hurting Lizzie and becoming Kai was meant to be evil, which powerful meant to be evil. But then she finds out that being powerful doesn't mean you have to be evil. You can be like a hero and stuff. And she finds out that Hope, then she realizes that Hope is powerful, she's strong, but she's good, and she's a hero. And she gets back up, and of course Dark Josie still thinks that she can get Josie to stay in there again and whatnot. But then eventually Josie tells her that she doesn't have the axe, and they're not in the house, that they're back where Hope was at the time, and that she doesn't have her armor, and that if she uses her magic, she will hurt both of them. And then she hits Dark Josie in the heart or the chest with the axe, tells her that she won't hurt anyone again. And Dark Josie said that as long as you have black magic in you, I will always find a way back. And then Josie said that's gonna be for a very long time. And of course, we see back in like the tombstone or the building in the grave where Lizzie is doing this spell to take out the dark magic, but transferring it to the necromancer. And of course, Lark's like in the doorway of the building, watching everything. The necromancer goes in front of Josie, and of course all the magic comes out of her, transferred into him, and he gets it all. And then at that one point, we don't see the necromancer again. We see Josie back into her room, finding out that and then she talks to a lark saying that her whole entire life, or she thanks her father and everyone else that they never gave up on her, never gave up on saving her, even if she didn't deserve it and whatnot. And Alaric ends up telling her the one most thing that he enjoys being her father is that he gets to see her grow up, trying to realize or find out that she is deserved to be saved and not to be given up on. And he sees that Josie did the same spell as her biological mom did, and finds out that she took her siphoning powers and put it into like this locket or something. And Josie puts it on her drawer, and she says that she just put her siphoning powers in there until she's ready to use it again and have it back again. But as for at that point, she's not ready there. She's not at that point yet. And then we see Lizzie and MG at the docks, and of course Lizzie says her part of the eulogy for MG, just because he did one for her. And of course MG's there hearing her say it. And then after that they talk, and Lizzie tells him that she's gonna go back into the school and show their classmates her true self and whatnot. And then we see the girls come out to the docks and say, "Lizzie, you're alive." They hug. And then we go back to inside the Salvatore house school. That Alaric and Raphael finds out that Lan is not awake. And of course, one thing that was on their mind, they went back to his office, to the secret room they had the weapons in, and finds out that Hope is not awake. And of course, to me, I thought that probably that Josie forgot to stone her, or probably Hope and Landon are linked to each other or something, because Hope's not waking up, Landon's not waking up after getting killed. But of course, they're gonna research more on the Golden Arrow, because probably the reason why the Necromancer couldn't bring him back is probably because there's no loophole for him through the prophecy to bring him back. But hopefully, I don't know, this is like the finale of season 2. Hopefully not, but if it is, then probably season 3 they're gonna find out more on the Golden Arrow and the prophecy and how to get Landon back, and find out what happened to Hope, why she's not waking up, and also in case trying to find out where the Necromancer and try to defeat him once and for all, so he wouldn't come to the Salvatore school and raise rampage on them and stuff. So yeah, overall it was a really good episode. It was really nice to see. One good thing I loved about this season was that last season, in season 1, we see Josie trying to stop being codependent half of the time and trying to work on herself and whatnot, and she finds out about the merge and stuff. But one thing I love about this season is that she gets to experience her dark side, and we get to see what her subconscious really is. And it was I never really understood why her subconscious was like a fairy tale until she told Hope that Caroline always read to her and Lizzie fairy tale stories for bedtime, and when it's bedtime, and when it was Sleeping Beauty / Snow White in a way, or just Snow White. I really loved how she made her subconscious a fairy tale, but hopefully we get to see more on how Josie is coping after defeating her dark side, realizing she is powerful, and that powerful doesn't mean you have to be evil. It also means you can be good as long as you use your powers for good and not evil. And hopefully we get to see what happens to Landon and Hope, because honestly, usually I thought that this new the spin-off, the Legacy spin-off, or the original spin-off, which is Legacies, I thought it was gonna revolve around Hope, but I love how they didn't make it only about Hope, that they made it about Hope, the Saltzman twins, all the students at the Salvatore school, and Lark, and the Merge, and whatnot. Hopefully, even after Hope turns 18, that hopefully they make more seasons with her in it, like they can show us her going to college probably, or they probably make the Salvatore school not only like usually like a high school kind of school, but also made it like a high school / college kind of school where Hope can still learn a lot more with her friends and everyone she cares about there. And hopefully we get to see more about the father-daughter dynamics between Lark and the Saltzman twins, and hopefully we get to see more on Lark and Hope's friendship and sort of father-daughter like to each other dynamic, like you know, and hopefully more on everyone's like romantic side. Like hopefully we get to see if eventually they're gonna make Lizzie want to be with MG, and MG gets his happy ever after with Lizzie when she feels like she wants that too. Like this season it only had like probably 3 romantic stories, which was like Sebastian and Lizzie, and then it was Josie and Landon before Hope and Landon happened again, and then back again. Hopefully we get to see more of them, and hopefully we get to see more on how Raphael is gonna try to control his wolf side like he tried to do in season 1, and how him and Landon's brother relationship is going after the whole thing. I mean, it did kind of suck we had to see the Necromancer make Raphael kill his brother and friend against his will, and that Landon had to find out that the Necromancer made Raphael his puppet. So yeah, honestly, like my least favorite villain is the Necromancer, because he's like the most like villainly monster alive since Malivore happened, and since Malivore had all the monsters go after Landon. And one thing I would like to see is how Malivore, or what is Malivore gonna do when he finds out that the Necromancer had Raphael kill his son Landon, and what is he gonna do with the Necromancer after finding it. Hopefully we get to see all that. And so I'm gonna try to upload this like probably tomorrow after I filmed this, or on the day I filmed this, or probably after my other video that I did last week or this week, a few days ago. But if I upload this before that video, then that's when I upload this, and before I make this uploading thing confusing or just annoying as hell sometimes, I'm gonna end this video, but before I do, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell to always be notified whenever weekly videos come, because it's always gonna come. And hopefully when weekly videos do come out, they're interesting, sort of interesting. And I'm not gonna get too much on the exciting and other enjoyable words. I'm just gonna say sorta first before I say the words, because we don't know the video as I film and upload is gonna be amazing still, so I just say sorta. And if you wanna follow me on my journey, not only on my channel but on my social media, I will leave them down. I will put them down in the description, but it's only gonna be my main and my Insta for the YouTube. But if you wanna follow my other Instagram accounts, you can follow my main one, because usually when I post something new on my Instagram, I always make my other Instagrams like that post, so you will be able to see it. And of course, the profile picture for my other Instagrams will be, of course, me there, so you easily will find it. And hopefully, probably in the next video, I might mention I made my second Twitter for my YouTube and made another Snapchat. But before I even mention that, I'm not doing that right now, because I'm still thinking whether or not to do it, because I don't want to do it and then change my mind at the very last minute. So I'm gonna think on that first. And right now I'm about to make this video longer, so I'll see you in the next video. Bye.